I wish I could show you my screen. I'd show you one of the guys. Hi, guys.
Mm.
Yeah, it went really well. You know, I have one of those backdrops that or stands that when you go up, you can put a link on the top and
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
put two backdrops on either side. But you know, it starts to get stripped, the weight of it. So I went to the trouble of ordering this extra backdrop so I'd have two lighting setups so I wouldn't waste any time. But it wouldn't hold the weight of the two backdrops because one of them was a little wider than the other. So you know, you just scrap a couple of plans and but yeah, everything was ready to go and we left it we were up at 4:30 and out the door and on the road at 6 and um the person who we were supposed to meet with got COVID and couldn't come in. So we had to just kind of wing it with she put one of the young girls in charge and we just kind of went from there. So we have to go back because I need her headshot. So that's
Did they test everyone that day for COVID? Like, how did that work?
so they do at every single one of their plant locations, like we visited, I think 6. And no matter where they go, everyone's getting a temperature check. You have to sign in, you have to write down your temperature and all that kind of stuff, which, you know, whether or not you have a temperature, who knows? But
That's
they
like,
do regular testing
yeah.
at their main headquarters. But yeah.
Wow.
So,
Well,
but it went great. We did 14 and I did 2 different setups for the executives because the shot that I had to match, I didn't, you know, it's super boring. So I said, I'm going to do what I have to do. And then you're going to sit for my style. And the old
yeah.
CEO is like, I like your style better. I look cool there. So that was good. Yeah.
Oh, well, we are in Austin and we're doing a shoot with Airbnb tomorrow, which is kind of cool. Austin is
Nice.
gray and depressing today.
Is it? Ooh,
Um, yeah, which doesn't
it's
look
going
good
to
for the
be
hotel room.
insane tomorrow for St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, that's right.
Lots of
Tomorrow's
drunks
St.
are going to be
Patrick's
out there.
Day. Oh, I didn't even know that. Speaking of drunks, Peyton, are you on? I'm
Your
joking.
segues are
It's his
hilarious.
birthday. Is he
Happy
on?
birthday.
No, it's Nico's birthday.
Nico's birthday.
Oh,
Oh,
happy
it's
birthday,
Nico's
everyone.
birthday. Oh, but
Oh, thank you. Thanks, guys.
I think, wait, you're right. You said you were going to be down there when for Peyton's birthday
well,
too.
we were supposed to hopefully meet Peyton tomorrow night. So like, who knows how that will go, but that would be cool if we do. We would love to see him.
That would be great.
So we have a guest speaker who's going to perform People, Barbara Streisand's original, named Tas Limur. Tassie, are you here?
Yeah,
I
he's
am
there.
here.
Yes.
Oh,
Nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you guys.
so
How's
we're going to
everyone
talk
doing?
about,
Good,
yeah.
how are you?
So Taz, let me tell them about you and then you can tell them about you. Taz is amazing and Taz has been working with me for, I want to say 9 years? No, 8 years?
Yes,
10 years.
9 years.
9 years. Oh my God.
Oh, tell us the scoop, Tess.
Poor thing.
Taz is amazing because Taz is not only like an incredible retoucher, he is also he's master of lighting, and then also a videographer. So he kind of wears many hats. But if I would say, I don't know, like you're so strong in each of those categories that it's really hard for me to say like you're one thing. And then an art director, because he does his own work, which is really beautiful that you have to check out one day. It's really kind of dark and cool and moody and really interesting. But I thought it would be great to have Taz and I talk to you about like how it works when we go on a shoot and how we evaluate the lighting and how we evaluate what lighting we're going to do. And we actually made you guys some diagrams, so some lighting diagrams. But I think, you know, the most thing I want to talk to you about is like how it all works. Like, so for you, Taz, and I'll put it to you, when we get an assignment and say we're doing a big shoot, international publicity shoot, and say we're doing it in London, from when I get the job, maybe explain to them where you come in and how you handle everything?
Well, when John first gets the job and we know a little bit about the job, and they say, okay, it's gonna be for Miss Peregrine's. It's for a Tim Burton movie. It's gonna be in London. And then first thing we do is we watch the trailer for the movie. And once you see the trailer, you kind of get inspired. Okay, it's a dark movie. Okay, let's think of some ideas. Let's create a little forest set, and we come up with this little sketches, and we have our office meetings, and then we show them to the client, and then sometimes they say, okay, I like this little forest idea. Then
You're showing them more than one idea, like 2 or 3, or?
yeah, usually if it's an international publicity shoot, they have 4 or 5 different sets.
Okay.
So for instance, they say, okay, we like this forest idea, and we like this little gray seamless with multi-spot, like more shadows on their faces and stuff. So we contact a producer, because it's in London. We don't know anything. So we hire a producer who will get us a set builder, who will get us all the lighting equipment we need. So once we know that, okay, we're building these sets, we kind of design a lighting idea. And that also depends who we are shooting, because sometimes if you shoot an older person, you light them differently. You want to make sure they look good. That's the most important thing. You always want to make sure that client is happy, your subject looks good. So once we have everything ready, we show up to the set. And if it's a big shoot like John was talking about, we get something called a pre-light day, where we get to go to the studio the day before the shoot, and we set up all of our sets, and we have each of the sets lit separately. Like you were saying, you don't want to waste any time. We can't have Leonardo DiCaprio come and like, oh wait, we're gonna just switch the lights. No, it's ready to go. So we have all of our sets built, and then we have sit-ins where somebody stands where the actors are gonna be, and then we take the pictures, and then John approves them, and okay, change this, change that, and
John, are
then
you on set then?
Um,
You're
yeah.
shooting, like,
So basically, how that goes down is Taz and Jason and Justin and the team will get there. I don't know, Taz, what do you say? 2 hours before I get there?
yeah, we
About
get
2
the
hours.
equipment delivery and stuff before John comes in.
Because they know how to set everything up. And so everything is worked out prior to the shoot. There's a mood board that we follow. If we know basically that we're doing one big set with six actors, we're going to design a mood board, and we're going to do a sketch of like where each person is going to sit. And then we're actually going to do a lighting diagram of this is how we're going to do it. So when I get there, I would say most of it's all set up, and we're just fine tuning and we're testing on each other, taking pictures of like the crew and saying more ratio, less ratio. I think we should have more, atmosphere. I think, the key is too strong. I think the background light is too strong, or sometimes it's just perfect and we move forward. And then Taz, explain to them that when you have multiple sets, after you do the lighting in one set, before you move to the next, what is it important for you to do?
Well, when you have multiple lighting setups, you have air remote or some kind of trigger on your camera,
Mhm.
and that will have different channels. So we basically name the sets, like this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, usually in a circle. And then once John starts on one set, that's done. When people are moving to the next set, first thing you do is you switch the channels. So all the strobes for the next setup is triggered when John is taking the picture.
Yeah.
Do you use like stand-ins like they do for like TV, film, and commercial to try to get like the same height and skin tone?
Yeah, usually
Sometimes.
we.
Yeah, Taz, the one that we did, who's the most recent where they hired a person to look like the very tall athlete that we just shot?
Magic Johnson.
So they hired a guy that looked like Magic Johnson, so he would be the model, the test model. And so then when the lighting was perfect on Magic, the guy would leave and we would shoot Magic, which worked out really well. Yeah, which worked out really well. So I'm gonna figure out how to share screen, but I'm on my good computer where I can share screen. So this is a good thing. Oh no, I think I can do it. I think I could do it right now. Did I do it?
All right, nice.
Oh my God.
Good job,
Yay.
John.
So now this is a shoot that we did. Can you guys see the whole thing?
Yeah.
Okay, good. This is a shoot that we did of Nikolai Koster, Nikolaj, I don't even know.
Waldo.
Waldo.
Nikolaj Koster Waldo.
Nikolaj Koster Waldo. So this shoot we did in this incredible place where when I usually do my workshops, we shoot in this amazing space. It's in downtown LA, and there's like an upstairs, a downstairs. There's great rooms, incredible texture. I can't wait to do another in-person workshop so everybody can shoot there again. But with this, we basically made a diagram of what we did. And you can make these diagrams, like if you really want to impress your client, if you have a really high-end job and you're like, hey guys, you know, this is the lighting that we're thinking if you're shooting Brad Pitt or somebody big time. And even if it's not a big time person, even if you're doing this for some kind of company, you can make them a diagram like this that says, this is the subject. I'm going to use a V flat. We're going to have a fog machine. Then we have our key light, which is a 46 inch umbrella with diffusion. And we're going to have a fill light, which is a 75-inch octave with diffusion. And then our camera angle is here where I'm going to be shooting. And then there's window light behind, which is going to give a little glow in the background. So this is how we achieve this. And really, because this is, this space, there wasn't really a window above, there was a window behind the subject. So we were really creating this light. We weren't really, there wasn't too much ambient there, if I recall, right, Taz? It was like, there was a little, but not great.
No, it was just that light behind him.
It was just the light behind him. So, I love what we did with this because here's the deal. He's wearing all cream. It's such a nightmare when you're shooting white or cream because you don't want it to blow out too much. You want to keep it true to the color of cream. So I really love this whole palette here and what we did with this. Who has any questions about this lighting setup?
So the nice thing about the cream is that it's good reflective light on the skin, at least.
Yeah.
When you're in such a dark environment like that, and then you have a dark V flat on the left side. I'm just wondering, like, so are you shooting like what, 50 mil? How do you decide on what you think your lens is going to be? And do you change it out for these shots?
I mean, I think on that one, Taz, I would think, didn't we use the zoom? I mean,
yeah, I think you had the 24 to 70.
4 to 70 zoom. 100.
Yeah, I want to say somewhere around 35 to 40 millimeter focal length on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's really cool. Now, do you guys see what the fog machine does? Look at the
Yeah.
background.
Great
Look how
environment.
cool. It adds like a grainy texture to it. It really gives it a mood. I'm not a fan of when like you can see the smoke when it looks like there's flames. I like it when it dissipates and it's more even. I mean, sometimes it just happens that way where you see like the big smoky waves. But I think it's definitely stronger when it's in this situation, when it's very subtle.
Yeah. How high is the key
I
light?
What was the question?
How high is that key light?
I want to say it was like probably 2-3 feet above him, angled down.
Okay. So it's up there on a boom. Okay.
Yeah, it was on a boom.
Okay.
Who has any more questions about this lighting setup? No.
Really, it's great. I might feel like for some clients, my concern always is, does it feel too dark for them? Because, you know, they're not, I don't know how to put it. They're not Hollywood. And sometimes even though you want to deliver something that feels moody, it feels like the thing that I hear from
Too
people.
much for them.
It's like, hey, that's like, it's so dark. I can't see my, you know, whatever. So and then I end up having to fuss a little.
Yeah, but I think it's appropriate for a certain client. It's definitely
Yeah.
not appropriate for every client.
Yeah.
But if you had a client that you think this works for, I mean, it's pretty strong.
Yeah.
I mean, I think this works for an actor, a musician,
Yeah.
some rich guy. I don't think it works for like some corporate executive, but I think it, or a director, a producer, because it looks like a, you know, he's styled to perfection. You know,
Yeah.
it's beautiful. I'm sure that outfit's like more than most people's rent.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I think, and this is another conversation to have, the importance of good styling. I mean,
Yeah.
just look at everything: the pant, the shoe, the watch, the ascot, the shirt underneath. Just everything about it is working and working so well. And one thing can throw this off. You know, if you would have, if the stylist was a disaster, and usually, I don't want to say he is, but this was a good one. If the stylist would have said like, oh, I want to put him in a purple checkered jacket, the whole look is off and ruined and there, and then the shot goes like careening downhill. So I think that everything to keep it in these muted earth tones. And I love this brown wood. I love the subtlety of that. It's so funny. Usually I'm the person that says, I don't like light sources in the back because usually my eye goes to the brighter light source. But in this situation, I actually don't mind it because it creates depth for me and has me look back, and it makes my eye obviously go to the foreground, but I actually like what's going on in the background. And so, but I had the student once say, I don't like that there's a bright light in the background. It's distracting me. And I said, well, I think you should get over it. And he had to. There was really no choice.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, but usually for me, I'm not a fan of really strong lights on the background. But in this situation, I think the way it's so
Hazy. I love it.
geometrical and hazy, it really leads you back. And anytime you can find a warehouse like this, oh my God, please find one. Please shoot people in spaces like this that are gritty and old and dirty and, you know,
And that have
probably without trash, you know, or homeless people, but you can find them in every town, in every city. There is a space like this. And I think it gives your images such a high level of production value that it's off the charts.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Hey,
Is
John,
there
I have a
any
question.
like tips or like coaching? I find like with a lot of like men,
Yeah.
when I do headshots or any type of photos, and they're so uptight and just like he looks so comfortable with like, I'm fine with like posing women because you know it's easier for me to like, oh, you know, sit like this, like that. But for men, I struggle with like he just looks like chill, comfortable, and it's very. I find.
Yeah.
And especially in different markets, when I was, you know, in LA doing headshots and stuff, that was different than when I went to Austin and Atlanta. It just, you know, I don't know, it's just different, a different feel there. But it's just, I don't know, like, what are some tips to like get someone to sit, a man to sit comfortably like that they don't look so posy or look like their shoulders are up in their throat?
Here's the deal. He's an actor. He's used to being directed. He's used to being
Yeah.
photo shoots. He's used to being in front of the public eye. If you got like Bill that works at Bank of America, he's not going to feel that comfortable. He's
Yeah.
going to be a mess. Like, am I fat? Like, I'm sweating. I can't breathe. It's hot in here. Like, he's going to fall apart. But I think it's up to you to talk to these people and be like, listen, Bill, like, joke with them, laugh with them, just get them comfortable, because you're right. When you look at this picture, this guy is like cool as a cucumber. Like,
Oh, so cool.
he's like, and the
He's
confidence
Steve
level,
McQueen cool.
yeah, he's Steve McQueen cool.
Yeah.
His confidence level is off the charts, I have to say. It is like completely off the charts here. And I think that this is the kind of stuff that we want to represent our photography. We want people to look comfortable and not crazy pose. At the end of the day, everything's posed. I love when people are like, oh God, is that posed? It's like, well, I didn't, hide behind a tree and then shoot him as he walked by. It's a photo shoot. Everything is posed.
Mhm.
You just have to make it not so posed. And it's funny, I had this shoot tomorrow, and we were doing a mood board for this client, and we sent them like 500 images. And this person's like, they're just all really posed. And I explained to them, I'm like, okay, so you probably didn't know this, but when you do professional photo shoots, someone is posing for the pictures. It's not like a hidden drive-by where it's a stakeout and then they walk by dressed in the clothes and then we shoot them. And they're like, no, I get that, but I need them to be more non-posed. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, we'll send you another 1,000 images that you can pick through. And they picked the 6 that were the most posed I've life. But I'm like, absolutely, whatever makes you feel good. And you have to sometimes be that with clients and be like, whatever you think.
Yeah.
John, what is the name of this studio?
Taz, do you remember the name of this place?
For tomorrow?
No. For this shoot where we did him.
I can
It's in
find it
LA.
on Peer Space. This is where we did the first workshop, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a name for it. We found the location on Pier Space, I think.
Mm.
It was
Okay.
one of the downtown warehouses
You
in
can
LA.
type in John Russo location. No, I'm joking.
It's an
Um,
awesome place. It's just, you have to do like a 6-hour minimum or something like that, I think.
But you know what's a good idea? Chip in with another photographer and say, listen, you get the first 3 hours, I get the second 3 hours. Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
Great idea.
And it's big enough to chip in with 3 photographers. You can shoot upstairs, in that corner, in this room, outside, down the corridor. That's a great way too. If you have photographer friends and you guys want to split it, why not? Something to think about.
Thanks, Peyton.
Yeah. So we have another one to show you. I mean, how about this lighting on her though? So, and if you look at these things, it's not overly complicated lighting. And I think that so many photographers, excuse me, overcompensate. Sometimes I go in these shoots and there's like 30 soft, there's one person that they're shooting, who's got like 30 soft boxes, a big silk, like a boom, a forklift, and I'm in the other room with one light and V flat. My shit looks so much better than theirs. And I think that a lot of photographers think that they need to justify that they're a photographer by having like 80 lights to confuse people, and sometimes obviously you need that if you're doing a very specific light. But if you're just doing a nice, beautiful portrait, in my opinion, less is so much more. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't stress yourself out. Don't waste money. Just go in there and do simple, beautiful, clean lighting. And even this on her, she's got that beautiful ratio, but the ratio is not too dark, where sometimes when people do these super dark ratios, it's like black. And for women, no, don't do that. And even for men, don't do that. And when you're shooting people of color, you don't want it to go too dark, because then you lose their skin and you lose the texture of their skin. And it's really important. And I think that's a thing when you're shooting darker people or African Americans, you want to keep them true to their skin tone. You don't want to make, if they're not dark skin, you don't want to make them look dark skin. If they're medium skin or brown skin, you want to keep it true to their skin tone. And that is sometimes very hard for people to do, because if you're shooting someone who's like a Pacific Islander, you don't want them to look white. You want them to look like the color of their skin. You don't want to blow them out, but then again, you don't want to make them super dark and make them muddy. And that's why a lot of times I get to work with a lot of African Americans and they request me because I know how to light them. Like Viola Davis, Molly Saldana, all of these people, they request me because they don't want to look ashy, they don't want to look gray, and they don't want to look super dark. They want to look like they look. So I think that is something that's more of like a trial and error. There's no rule book that says this is how you need to do it. You just need to do lots of tests when you're there. And has anyone come across that problem when shooting people of color?
Do you
No.
do you gel your lights ever usually, or just totally depend? Just to balance the warm a little bit.
If we have issues with multiple color temperature, if we're mixing, say, you are using window light, and then you're also using some of the ambient light from the room, and those are just, the tungsten lights. Sometimes we do have to gel them, but sometimes they just look cool,
Right.
without using any gel or anything.
Well, Taz, a really good example of the gel is when we did Ryan Reynolds. Remember that amazing stuff of Ryan Reynolds? Should I pull that up?
Yeah,
I
that
want to
was
see it. Oh God, I have to make sure there's no.
the bowling.
Let me find Ryan Reynolds really quick because that's a good one.
So
for you guys.
this looks like this one's like she's either in the corner of a room or a corner of a V flat.
It's a corner of a set. It was a set built. It was a 2-wall. Yeah.
Okay.
And about how high up is that light on her? It's like the same on the others?
It's pretty high. I want to say at least 3 feet higher than her head, angled down.
Okay.
And I want to say the last CEO I did, she was African American. She had really beautiful caramely skin, and they wanted to be against a white backdrop, which is, you don't want to blow the white out and all that. But I ended up shooting a kind of more bare bulb into a V flat on the right, and then a V flat on the left, white V flat in front of a white sweep. And that bounce fill was just really beautiful lighting for her skin. Anyways, I don't know what everybody else does, but you might have to.
I think with this, it's such a classic, beautiful lighting pattern, in my opinion. I think that you just can't go wrong. I mean, if we wanted to make formulas and create formulas, this is a no-brainer. This is a win-win-win.
Yeah.
But it's a win-win-win when you want something a little more dramatic. Not many people can handle this light. Like if I was shooting, I don't know. I feel like you have to be, I don't want to say you have to be really pretty to handle the light, but if I was shooting if I was shooting like a younger person, I would do this light. I wouldn't do this harsh of a ratio on an older person. I would probably wrap this key. I'd probably swoop it around toward the camera a little bit, not directly behind because then it makes it too flat, but I would kind of go like camera left and not so far left. Like I would take it to like, I don't know, 7 o'clock. If the camera is number 6 o'clock, I would take it to 7 o'clock. And I think that's so important to be able to know who you're shooting and know which light you think is going to look great on the person that you're shooting. That is like crazy important to know that. So in terms of lighting, I'm just going to show you.
What about white balance on that?
on this one, Taz, do you remember? I think didn't we do like an auto white balance on that?
It's probably at like 5600.
Yeah.
If you're using strobe, you can just use your daylight white balance. That's fine. Because everyone shoots raw these days, it doesn't really matter, you know. You can change all that stuff anytime.
Yeah, that's so true. That's so
Thank
true.
you.
Damn,
You're gonna share Ryan's. I know I've been like pestering you, but that lighting with Kira Sedgwick was so buttery, soft. It
Oh,
was like the most beautiful lighting. And I feel like if I could find out what that recipe is, like that was,
you know what?
the
We'll make
whole
you.
shoot was beautiful.
We
Oh
will
my
make
God.
you a lighting diagram for Kira. She's awesome. Yeah, we'll do
Send
that.
your requests to John and we'll make some more of these.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh, that Kira one was like dreamy, so beautiful.
Okay, here's another one which is really dreamy as well. Look how soft and beautiful, not to brag, but look how soft and beautiful the light is on this subject.
You have to close
Okay.
this one out and reopen your other screen.
Oh, I do? What happened? Is there drama?
No, you won't.
Oh,
This one's open, the other one isn't.
Oh, Lord. There we go.
So get rid of this.
Yep.
And now this. Did I do that wrong? What are you guys looking at now?
The same lady in the orange.
Oh, the hell with her. So let me get rid of her. You know me, disaster. How's that?
And then now reopen your screen and the other one should be there.
That Linda. Who knew?
Mhm.
Okay,
Oh.
look at this lighting. I mean, seriously,
So beautiful.
not to brag,
Yeah.
but Taz, if I recall,
Mhm.
there was nice ambient light that we played off on, and we
Mhm.
did a fill
Mhm.
to kind of balance the ambient light, and we did on the right side a black V flat,
Yep.
and to give it
And you shot through a
effect,
screen.
I shot through a screen. So I think I want to say the screen that I shot through was an old window pane.
Yeah, it was all
And that's
like
why, yes, I shot through an old window pane. Now, I am obsessed with this picture. I think it's like a classic, beautiful, iconic portrait of a beautiful woman.
So
It's just her hands, her pose, the dress,
Yeah.
her emotion, the way the hair is going, it's like perfectly flipped out. I think if I had to say like,
I love
and
Monica.
once again, I'm not patting myself on the back. Well, wait, maybe a little. I think that this image just works, like out of the gate, straight up works. And I think any actress, female model, waitress, anybody would want to be photographed like this.
Yeah.
And if you can achieve something like this, they don't have to be famous. I think that people just want to see beautiful photography, like period, end of story. They want beautiful photography, and it's up to you to be able to create these light patterns on certain people. And I think, yes, there is ratio in her on the right, but I really feel like it helps her and really creates shape to her face. What do you guys think of this image?
It's
Perfect.
amazing.
Yeah. I love the monochromatic
Louder.
tones.
Perfect.
Yeah, I love that.
Amen.
So,
I love you, John Russo.
Oh, go on.
so
Thank
beautiful.
you.
Yeah,
But
There's a
the,
this is
shot
a-
you did of Elizabeth Olsen that's a close-up tight shot.
Oh
and
my God.
it's-
We
I
can
wouldn't
go
say
back to
washed
that.
out, but that's one of my favorite shots that I've ever seen.
Thank you.
It's one of the things that actually made me start following you, I think, when I saw that
Thank
one.
you, thank you, thank you. But here's the deal on this, Taz. Would
Yep.
you say that this was a difficult lighting setup or a more simple lighting setup? Like, what would you say?
It's one of the more simple, I would say. There was a huge window, remember, on her
Yep.
on the left.
Yep.
So John likes using a lot of ambient lighting. I don't know if you guys have noticed.
yeah.
So he would go into a room, and instead of like make everything just strobe heavy, if it's environmental shot, he would like pull a lot of the ambient light and then maybe use a little pop from the strobe so it looks nice, you know.
Just to
That
kind of,
that was
yeah.
yeah, that was pretty awesome because that whole shooting through the window screen, it just made everything so dreamy.
It really did. It made it dreamy and beautiful. And I think the whole, I mean, really, the whole shoot that we did with her,
And you did
you know,
some spraying on
followed.
glass, remember?
Yeah, I mean, and then we incorporated, remember we had the light pattern coming through the window?
Mhm,
Oh,
mhm.
so beautiful.
So there's a subtle, we put a window pane up and it gave us that little subtle cascading through the window. But once again, it's the lighting, the pose, the outfit, the textured backdrop, everything about the image, and that blur that goes across the bottom, that was shooting through a window pane. So I really suggest to you guys to start doing some shoot throughs, shoot through glasses, like a glass, a window pane. I love old window panes that you can buy at a thrift shop because they always have a texture. They have a film on the glass and it gives it like an interesting layer to the image. But we really had a good time shooting this. This one was a little more flat, a little less ratio, and that one's more ratio, obviously. But
Oh,
and
that was the one with the spraying.
so this, we took a window and we shot her through glass. But when you do this, you want to see the water. You want to see the drips. It's very important to do that. And it's great to do this if you rent like a vintage car and you have someone in the back seat and you spray the windows and it makes it look like a rainy night.
That's awesome.
And then you shoot light behind it and it's like very flary and it looks like you caught them on a rainy night outside. I love that. So let me
That's
give you
awesome.
another good example.
Yeah, that
Okay.
shot, the
Look at this one. Jessica
yes,
Chastain. I mean,
that's
come
one of my
on.
favorites.
Yeah,
Is that
she's got that
completely-
jawline that's like you could light that. I mean, look at that lighting with her. Oh, just
Okay,
the
for
makeup
that
is
one,
off the charts.
there was a huge window behind John,
Yep.
and we had two V flats on her either side. They were both black.
Yep. That's why it
And
kind of
there-
carved out her cheeks like that. Stephen.
Yeah, yeah.
Can we
That's
get a
awesome.
diagram of that?
Yes,
You can
please.
make a diagram of that.
Please.
That is just
Yep.
spot on. I mean, granted, she's beautiful, the hair, everything about her. I think it's the best shot I've ever seen of her. Not because I took it, just because it is. I'm joking. No, but I really do
It's so
think it's like
yeah.
the best shot of her, like ever.
Was it only window light?
No, I don't know, Taz. We'll have to go back and look at that because I don't remember if it was just window. It might, maybe we had, you know,
I think there was one little umbrella key light, but it was barely on. It was barely on.
just as a pop.
Yeah.
But another good one, and I'm gonna find it.
Mm.
I love those Ryan Reynolds ones you did do.
I am gonna find Ryan, but this was a set that we lit. That has, I remember this would be a good one to make a diagram for because this was not a motel room. This was a set that we created for Gone Girl to make it look like the motel room in this on the movie Gone Girl. I don't know if you guys saw Gone Girl.
Yeah.
Such a good movie.
It's a David
So-
Fincher film.
David Fincher film. So basically the set designer came in. We worked with them and we said, listen, watch the movie. We want a shitty motel room with the old phone, the old TV. Here's the deal. If you get the old TV, you put something on the old TV. It's very important to do that. Put the fuzz on the old TV. And you can strip it in post. And then if there's a light in the photo, the light is always on. Remember that. The light is always on because it creates another light source, which is really cool. So Taz, I remember when we were shooting this, above Ben's head. Basically, the wall went up kind of high, and then we reached from behind it, and to his left, we had the strong key kind of coming down on him, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Yep.
and then it wrapped around a little bit. See it on the cheek,
Mhm.
on the other cheek, and then on the far right, if I remember, I think that we had a white V flat, but it wasn't on top of him. It was like kind of back near the table. But I don't know if I don't remember if we had another key light behind me. That's what I don't remember. But
I
maybe
think we had some kind of this was a kind of a complicated setup because remember you were shooting through a window and there was not much room on that side. There was a gel light right above. If you see the newspaper,
Yeah.
it was just lighting the newspaper. And I think there was a bounce on the right side of when we look at it. And the key light was a big light source. I think it was like a 7-foot octa or something like that. And also we used some gel on that one, some cooling gel.
because didn't we want it to look blue? Let me go to the next one. No, not that one. Christ, this thing.
There it is.
This thing is all over the place. No, but I want to go to this other one, this one. So this one, and that's another shot. We shot him through the blinds of the window. And on that one, we went for a more split light.
And you had a hair light for that, for sure.
We did. And that was coming from above. And I think, hey, I like using hair lights. I think they're great every once in a while if it's called for, but not on everything. Love that shot. I
Yeah,
think there was
especially if you see
another,
that glass in there.
yeah, there was
Oh,
another
this one up
part
in the
of
upper
that.
right. Right. Oh, you just missed it.
Oh, ew. Where? Did I miss it?
So up in the right, that one, yeah.
So mind you, this is all a set. This
The
is a
paneling.
huge set. The paneling. So here's the thing. If we're creating a light source to come in to make it look like there's ambient light through the blinds, you're going to have to put a light outside to shoot through the window. Because if this was shot on a soundstage. So once again, we're creating this light. And when there's a light in the image, the light is always on. That's just my rule. I think it's a really good rule. And remember, it all goes back to the fact that we are storytellers and we are telling a story with these images. We have a series of images that are shot on a set, all of which have something to do with each other. It would be corny if he had on like, Mickey Mouse pajamas. It wouldn't have anything to do with what we're doing. So you have to keep consistent with the clothing, the vibe, the look, everything about it's got to work to flow. Very importante. I'm going to find you another one that I think. I love.
Oh yeah, those were good.
But here's a good one. Taz, remember this one? So
Question.
this,
Oh, sorry.
oh no, you go.
I have a question. How often do you use some of the same wardrobe? Maybe from like if you watched the movie beforehand or anything. How often do you ever use like some of the same wardrobe that they would be wearing?
No.
In a film?
Never. No, because we're shooting things that have a tie into the film. Remember like when John De La Vina came and he said, I want you to watch the film because the images that you're going to create will be promoting the film, but they're not movie stills. We're just selling the actor as the actor. So this was for Sony. We did this. And these are all like my team's concepts. So this guy, Eric Bana, who's such a great guy, and I've shot him so many times. We found an old motorhome and we wanted to shoot him in the motorhome. So that day we were shooting him with a motorhome and a motel because it was for two different movies. So we
This
were
one looks
doing
like you
two-
require a tetanus shot.
yeah, exactly. But here's the crazy thing about this one. It never rains in Southern California until the day that I'm shooting outside. Once we go outside to shoot this, we had all these lights, soft boxes set up outside shooting through the windows, and it started to rain and it was a nightmare.
God.
So we had to shoot it really quick. We had to like cover the lights. It was punishment. But what we got out of this was obviously the atmosphere inside, obviously all the cool shadows that it's generating. But look at all the props. Look at all the crap on the table. Look at the hula person that dances. Look at that shitty little TV, always with the fuzz. Everything is thought out in the image. It's not just, oh, whatever's there, we're going to shoot. It doesn't matter what it is. If you want to be big time and you want to go the extra mile, you need to be on your A game when you're looking at everything that's going on in the image to make the image work. You know, even the shitty curtains that are like falling apart, it all pulls together to make an incredible image. And I'm going to show you, I mean, one would think I can just hit like arrow right and it would go to the next image. Okay, yeah. So here's the thing as well. We're utilizing the motorhome. So the cool thing is you go, you get the milk. I love this idea with the milk. He's doing something. It's candid. It's not as posed. It's him in the moment. And it's telling a story about what he's doing. He's an actor. He's playing a role. He's doing something. So anytime you guys have the ability to have your talent do something, you know, give them a role to play. Who doesn't want to be an actor? Say, hey, you know, you're on a road trip. This is the field. This is what we're doing. These are the props. And with this, it's not a fashion shoot. He's not about the fashion. He has on, you know, just shit you could buy anywhere, you know? And I think a lot of people, you know, we have to get away from this whole like, well, is that a fashion shoot? That is what all the publicists say. And I just want to scream when they're like, well, is this going to be a fashion shoot? You know, when they hold their nose when they say it, is this going to be a fashion shoot? You're just like, no, they're not models. It's not going to be a fashion shoot. We're just shooting great portraits. I don't give a shit that this is Dior, this is so-and-so. And then this is the best when they ask, they're like, oh, well, who will the designers be? And I'm like, so once again, it's not a fashion shoot. Those designers are not paying him or me. So I really don't give a shit who the designers are. I care about how cool the images are. Would it matter to you if that shirt was from Walmart or Dolce & Gabbana? Would it change the feel of the image for you? Tammy, what do you think?
Me personally, no.
Who cares, right?
I don't care about that kind of stuff. Like, get it at Goodwill. Who cares? Like, get what works
As long as it looks
for the
good.
look that you're achieving. You're trying to achieve.
Yeah.
100%. You know, I couldn't agree with you more. And then when you focus more on getting great pictures, you get great pictures. It doesn't, you know, he could throw on a t-shirt and a leather jacket and he's still going to get great pictures.
Love it.
And
So
I
in this
love
right here, you have this white background. And I saw there's a lot of other ones that are really great that have the white background. Would you guys like go over like how to achieve like a really good white background? I have an opportunity through my realtor. They want me to shoot their entire agency, but they want the white background. And it's not my expertise. So
Taz, do you want to explain?
Like, are you asking what kind of white to get, or?
Like even the ones that are like just like one person, there's like J-Lo or something. Yeah. Like how can you, like I have V flats and I have, you know, my white, you know, paper backdrop. Like how could I light that to achieve? It always has like a tinge of gray to it.
Oh, if you want a perfect white, you want to light the background separately.
Okay.
So you want to have a little bigger white background, like a 9-foot backdrop or something. And then you could light the background separately
Okay.
like that one. And then you could have the subject step forward a little further away from the backdrop. So
Mhm.
you're not getting any shadows or anything, and your background is like super white.
Okay.
And then you can light the subject however you want to light it,
Mhm.
separate. And then once you're lighting your background, use of flags so the background light is not spilling over onto the subject.
Okay.
And
where
that's
would you
important to see
place
that spill. You don't want to see the spill on the shoulders. And Taz, would it be a rule or fair to say that your background should be one stop or a stop and a half brighter than your foreground? What do you think?
Absolutely. Yeah, it always helps.
Mhm.
Then the subject is separated from your background.
Okay. So like where would you place the light to light the background? Like
It depends on what kind of light modifier you have. If you have say if you have a
Here's a good
strip.
one.
Oh yeah.
that's great.
So
Nice.
I would say you have, in order to light this, he would be anywhere like 6 feet away from the background. And then on each side, you'd have a bare head pointing at the background. What do you
Okay.
think, Taz?
Yeah, this one was at a big studio. It was a cyc wall, so we had a lot of room to play with.
Mm-hmm.
So you could light the background. He was kind of further, kind of far away from the backdrop, and the light source is massive on this. We had a Ellen Chrome Octa for key,
Okay.
so that's why the shadows are like there's a big fill light there, so the shadows are not there. But to answer your question, how to light the background, it depends on what kind of modifiers you have. If you have two strobes, if you could spare two strobes for your background, get some sort of strip softbox that's kind of tall,
Okay.
and you could just have one on each side going on a 45-degree angle onto the backdrop, and then have two flags,
Okay.
so the backdrop is not on those lights are not on the subject.
Gotcha. Perfect.
Absolutely.
What I don't have, I can always rent.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So everyone loves, I always get asked about this particular image. A, because it's Ryan Reynolds. B, because the environment is really cool. C, because the lighting is really cool. This one we did use a red gel, right, Taz? I remember it was
Yeah.
up high of the top left. And it was very important that we had the smoke machine to give it that texture within the light. And once again, not crazy smoke in front of him. He doesn't need to look like
The
he's on
haze,
fire.
not the smoke.
The haze, the hazer, right?
Yeah.
Now, is there a difference between a hazer and a smoke machine?
Yeah. So the hazer is like, you can turn it on and it gives you an atmosphere. When you turn on a light, everything looks dreamy, beautiful, like dramatic. But if you have a smoke machine, it looks like someone's on fire. You just had a barbecue bonfire,
So yeah,
It's
when that-
it's probably like a little bit more like a foggy morning versus like a fire.
a
Exactly.
3-alarm blaze. Yes, 100%. But
That light
look,
is so beautiful.
look how successful this is. Now, once again, it's Ryan Reynolds. So people sometimes look and they're like, it's Ryan Reynolds. I mean, anything works.
It's still
But
not getting hard.
if this, was not Ryan Reynolds, and say, this was, Jaden, it would be the same great lighting on a handsome guy. And it would be the same successful thing. So
Nice.
you just have to treat it like that, and same thing, the wardrobe is simple. He has on like a crew neck or a V-neck, long sleeve shirt. I love the drink. He's at a bar. It kind of makes sense. Just
And the
and this was
logos,
one of those shots at the end where it's like, you know, hey Ryan, come over here. Let me shoot you over here. On the fly, wasn't planned. And then it turns out to be one of the best shots. And he loves this shot.
Yeah.
It's funny. I was texting with him about 3 weeks ago because I didn't even know that I guess he follows me, but I didn't know that because I didn't know he followed me. And he just said, thanks, bro. This picture is amazing. And I'm like, oh, that's incredible. And I'll show you which picture he commented on that he loved.
The bowling one is so good.
Well, it was the bowling one, but
Yeah.
oddly enough, it wasn't the bowling one that he commented on. It was, look, I've shot him so many times.
He's so handsome.
Oh no, how do I get out of that? Take me back, Ryan. Okay, it is over here. Wasn't it over here? How did I miss
Thought
it?
you just passed it.
I thought it was down below a little bit.
Okay, he commented on this one and said, I absolutely love this picture.
Ah, yeah.
I wouldn't have picked that one. I don't know why. I don't dislike it, but
Does he like music?
well, he retweeted it and he loved it. I think he's just a nice guy. He's just a cool guy. And so you guys in LA know where this was shot, right?
No.
No, it
Rising
was shot
Sun.
at the bowling alley called at the Roosevelt, and you can rent it. Not that expensive. Look, the imaginary person you're playing with.
So this one, now you're lighting this with strobe and you have your ambient light still showing, right? So
This is
or
the
were you
perfect example to show you what we did. So obviously, where's the ambient coming from?
to the right,
Okay. Do you guys see that there's an edge light? Where's that edge light coming from to the left?
from the left and high.
Left high, right?
Yep.
Now, it almost looks like there's a bit of a red gel in that ambient, but not crazy red gel. It
Tiny
goes
bit.
a little red. Okay. It could look like it's coming from one of those lights above.
Right.
So it does kind of make sense. Once again, the atmosphere machine, it's consistent throughout the shoot. It's very important for you guys to stay consistent throughout the shoot.
You're like pumping that thing and then have them come on set, like, because it takes
Yeah.
a while for that to like fill up a whole space.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So does anyone have any questions about this image?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't understand the lighting setup. Can you go over again, if you don't mind?
Sure. Taz, do you want to take it from the top?
Okay, as well.
Which one, on this one or on
Yeah, that
both?
one, that one.
Okay.
No, the other one.
Oh, this one. Okay, perfect. Taz, hit it.
Okay, so for this one, your window light is on the right, but sometimes we can use a light source to emulate the window light where it's coming from, so you can control it better. And you have your rim light on the left side with a gel.
So is that like maybe like a 5-foot octabox on his right with diffusion? I mean, because kind of that whole side is to the right and maybe a little behind him.
No, I think this is mostly actually natural light
Oh, it
on
is.
the right side.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
100%.
because you are seeing all those room lights. Do you see?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out.
Yeah,
How did you get
yeah.
the light to show? Okay, so it's natural light, and the only thing is just a red gel on just like probably a
Top left.
Yeah, from the left. Yeah.
but that's not a strobe, it's just an extra ambient fill, kind of a, not like a
No,
Hollywood.
that's a strobe.
Oh, it is, okay.
Yeah.
Because it's lighting his whole, side of his head all the way down his arm
Hmm.
and a tiny bit of his knee. So it must be what, like maybe a 47 foot, I mean, a 47-inch, something broader.
Yeah, you know what? I think there was a strobe on the right side too. It was so many years ago, you know.
This was 11 years ago.
Wow.
But you know what the cool thing is? It's 11 years ago, but if I told you it was last year, you'd probably believe me, because the way that it's lit, the way that he looks, the energy, the way that celebrities are timeless and ageless.
So
know?
John, go to you hit that other shot. That might be that big window that's on the right, like that. I
It
think
sure
that's the
is.
window we're looking at. Okay, then
And
never
look,
mind. That's
and this image
natural
too
daylight.
is just classic. Like everything about this was capturing that right moment. The bowling ball happened to be there. The way he threw the ball, his form is great. You know, it shows it's a bar. You see the windows, like, and once again, this makes an editorial story. Every image has something to do with the next. That's why I stress to you guys about creating editorial stories. They just look good.
Yeah.
And Taz, I know that you have to go, so.
Well, I could stay another 10 minutes.
So
Okay.
If
can
anyone has
you
any-
talk to us about one of the Kira ones? Can you pop on one of the
I
Kira?
don't know if I have Cura on this website yet.
Can you go to your Instagram?
Probably could. I
It's
have to
probably
put,
at the top.
Was
no,
that all natural light, John? The Kira one?
Cura was mostly natural light with a little bit of fill powered down to like nothing. Like it was such a simple, it was such a simple light source that it was ridiculous. But I do want to show you those images. Maybe I can, oh, you know what? I could airdrop them to this computer.
These are beautiful too.
Which ones?
Well, any of the ones with what's
Naomi
Naomi
Watts.
what?
So
Yeah.
this, Taz, were you in New York with this one for me?
Yeah, we were there for like 24 hours, not even 24 hours. Remember?
Lighting on her. This was shot through glass.
Yeah, love it.
Yep. Same thing, the narrative. You know, she just got out of bed. She's in a beautiful gown. Makes sense.
Marilyn Monroe lived in that room or something, right?
Marilyn Monroe was murdered in that room.
He's just making stuff up now.
No, she wasn't murdered in there. Let me see. One more second.
Didn't she die of an overdose in LA?
Yeah.
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 I'm trying to think of what were the other ones from on the Hollywood set that you did of what's
J-Lo.
J-Lo. Yeah, those are unbelievable.
Oh my God.
Fresnel lenses. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see. So this one, I'm trying to find Kira. Where the hell?
Go on Geo website.
Oh, you're so right. How do you do it?
Just, you know,
With poise and grace and just, oh,
go
all right.
on.
Let me see. Come on, John.
Hit the
Um,
there you go.
Hit the road, Jack. This was a great shoot. I don't know if you guys saw this shoot. Oh my God. I
Yeah.
love this shoot.
Amazing.
I mean, look at him.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool? He's like a
He's
total
so
badass. You know him from Sex and the City, right?
Hell yeah.
he's
Just gritty and dirty and just everything about
love
him.
that shot.
It's perfect.
Yeah. So let me go over here and what was it called? Kira. Keira. I think that's how you spell
No,
it.
Kyra.
Christ, how have I gotten this far? Oh no, that's not her. Are you sure her name's Kira?
Well, I thought it was Kira that way.
What's her last name?
Sedgwick.
Sedgwick.
Do it that way
Oh
then.
yeah, maybe I could call her that. Let me see how I can get back to that.
Maybe type it the way you know it then.
Yeah, let me do that. Oh look.
There she is.
Okay, you are right. I have to say these images, and a lot of it is Taz did the retouching on this, and he really kept her dreamy and
Oh,
beautiful.
So
and
beautiful. Yes. I mean,
Oh,
Has
thank you.
you out, look at this.
I mean,
I
that
mean-
shot, I mean, they're just so beautiful. So she has a light on that right side. That's, but you said these are natural daylight?
Most of these are natural light, you know? So we were shooting in this room that had a glass wall to the right, a glass wall behind me, and they were ceiling to floor glass, and the ceilings were 30 feet high.
Oh,
Hotel one, right?
We had it was at the one hotel in West Hollywood, and we had a softbox, but it was powered down so low. I mean, I don't even think we used it. I think I didn't like the way it looked, and I just turned it off. But I think it's really important as well is when Taz did the retouching, he kept her like age appropriate. He didn't make her a mannequin. He really, if you look at her like around the eyes, you can tell like she's an older woman. And you
Yeah,
know,
I
and
mean,
even the neck, he didn't like jack it up where she was like 18. She's like almost 60. Keep her fresh, but don't
is
make her mannequin-like.
she has no lines like under her eyes. Oh my God, she's,
Well, a lot of them, they go and they hook it up themselves without retouching.
yeah.
But here's the thing.
So this is all
Total-
daylight, that shot.
It's all daylight, total simplicity.
Wow.
Just
Wasn't she just on
gray.
the Golden Globes? She looked incredible. Her,
Yeah, she's
they-
amazing and she's
yeah.
super pretty and super nice, and I can't say enough good things about her. I mean, and this is the same thing. Like, I have to say, shooting the color cream around cream, especially for women, just softens and throws this beautiful light all around them. You cannot go wrong. If you're telling someone, let's do a cream story, they won't fight you on it. You know,
Mm.
it's definitely. And do you guys ever do that? Do you ever say like, I'm going to do a black and white story, or I'm going to do a cream story, or I'm going to do a red story? Is that something that you guys ever do?
Yeah. But this cream is like, I mean, that retouching too, just it's sublime.
Yep, that's Taz. He's can't say enough good things about him. Yeah.
Well, if we have a couple of shots from your site that we would love to kind of just learn a little bit more,
Yeah,
can we?
let me show you this because we did this production
awesome.
in Montana. Look at this image.
Wow.
Wait, how do I get that? Okay.
And go.
Now, look how dreamy and beautiful. This is natural light outside, almost golden hour, just gorgeous. You don't always need lights to make something amazing. You
Mhm.
can find absolutely breathtaking light anywhere. Look at the colors, look at the pose, look at the theme. This was an editorial we did for this woman on Montana. It was this whole Montana story. I mean, and look, we got the old truck, you know, everything about it, the way that the light was shot, the hay. Once again, we're doing a whole story based around Montana and this girl.
It was the day after the fire, so it was like all hazy and nice for you.
Oh, you're right. There was fire in the air. But look how that backlighting catches those front pieces of the hair that illuminates them like a golden color. And look, and Taz, I remember that we shot through, because I made you go pull wheat.
Mm-hmm.
And we shot through wheat, which really gave it like these kind of like, see where it says Chevrolet, that beam of light that's going through it.
Yeah.
And I love things that distort images. I am a huge fan of shooting through things and creating distortion because it adds another layer to your images. So please, guys, try to do this. I would almost love for you guys to do an assignment where you pick a glass or a tree or leaves or wheat and do a whole series of images where you shoot through something, a window pane, a piece of glass. It really creates another layer to the image. Same thing, shoot through, like I love this whole shoot through. I mean, we had like this incredible place to shoot, which all of the props were there. So we, you know, and of course it's in Montana, but we totally scored like in a very big way on this. And this is the fun thing about having like your own magazine. You can just put out there whatever you want.
Yeah.
You can just create anything and everything the way that you want it. It's like having a palette that you constantly get to change and use and do stuff with all different kind of lighting. And here's another example of completely different lighting. How about this? Not only did we shoot it, we did that product shot, and we did that product shot in about 10 minutes. And the guy said, we hired a photographer. It took him 8 hours and the bottle looks like shit. And you set that up in 10 minutes and did it. Can you explain how that's done? And I'm like, no, I just did it. No explanation. It's just pretty easy. You set it up and you shoot it. So if you're a good photographer, you can shoot anything, anything. So this is another good example of using natural light, harsh shadows.
I love that shoot.
Mhm.
Yeah, just natural light and harsh shadows. Shooting this downtown LA, super good look guy, not over retouched, keeping him true to who he is, and playing up on the shadows. You can rent these spaces downtown in downtown LA for $50 an hour or $40 an hour. Rent them at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You're going to get all these beams. You don't need lights. Go in there, base your shoot around the beams of the light, and make that be your strongest key. Make it be your strongest light source. And even this one, that one in the center with the grate behind him, it's a harsh light, but he can handle it. Look how handsome he is. It looks great. It's just super, super strong.
Nathan,
Yeah.
Natalie, if you go by Hollywood High School, there's like some really cool, I think that's where those like really neat fences are. You could go shoot over there.
I
Yeah,
love
there's
those.
so many different lighting situations that we get to do, and I get to do with this magazine, like even like this with this actor, Luke Bracey. I mean, we just took him outside, natural light, cool clothing, found this great environment, walked around, and just did really strong, incredible images. Pulled back, showed the environment, let the environment enhance the subject, not take away from the subject. Like, I love these with the hat and the hand on the head and the shadow. And even this one where he's kneeling with the boots and the hat and the level of depth of field and the trees blurred in the foreground. It's all about playing around and having a good time.
Who is that?
This is in Malibu Canyon.
No, who is he?
Oh, his name is Luke Bracey. He's an Australian actor. Yeah, I mean, and there's so much. Even this one, Kate Mara, I went down to the beach. We had an hour to shoot her. And, you'll see we really came up with some good stuff for 1 hour. It's a little slow.
She's so beautiful.
Mhm.
Now, these are all natural light down at the beach.
Where is that at, John? Is that in Malibu?
El Matador, yeah. With all the caves, El Matador Beach.
Do you need permits to shoot there? No.
Oh, remember, you're all students.
There's a gorgeous spot in Laguna Woods called, I think it's like Moon Beach. I can look it up for y'all in California.
Okay.
For everybody. It's
Here,
great. No permit.
look at this green background. Look at these pictures of this man. Okay, I'm obsessed with this. Taz, remember we shot this in the garage of the studio? This was just in my garage with,
Oh, yes, I remember.
and we did have a light. We did play up on the ambient, but
There's an open garage door behind you.
open garage door behind me. But this backdrop is from Unique Backdrops. It is such a breathtaking backdrop. It's almost like a greeny gray texture. The only thing is when they arrive, they get kinked a lot. You got to wet them down to get them to look like that or touch the hell out of them. But, photographing an older man.
I just repainted over my green. It turned everybody Oompa Loompa orange.
Oh,
I just could never get the color balance right. So finally I just painted over it.
So, but
I
once
love that
again-
shot.
Once again, you're showing I want to say the traction, but you're not over retouching this man to make him 50. He's 70. Make him 70. The lines are beautiful. He is beautiful. There's a uniqueness in him. And I'll never forget his publicist was like, well, you're not going to run him unretouched. And I'm like, Liza, like, shall I make him like he's 40? Like,
He's so handsome. Oh,
he's so handsome. I'm not going to over retouch him. And she's like, well, can't you just take away some of the lines? And I'm like, you're doing him a disservice. And then they see him and they're like, you're 80, like you're not 40. Just keep him the way he is. And he loved it. And he's like, this is how I am. This is how I look. You know, I'm not going to lie. And when you look at him in that green, he's a good looking man.
oh,
He doesn't,
so good
it's
looking.
not like he's shocking. He's good looking.
What's James? What's his name?
James
James
Brolin.
Brolin.
Girl, and that's
You know him,
Yeah.
the Amityville Horror. I mean, you think he's good looking here? Watch the Amityville Horror when he was like 28 years old.
No, he's been good looking his whole life, this guy.
Exactly.
He's like, yeah.
But another cool thing about these images, it's I only had him for a short period of time and we only really did 2 looks, but the 2 looks that I did with him were super strong. That gritty close-up face shot and that pulled back shot with that great green texture. And once again, you have him for the shortest period of time. It's not about how long you have someone to create iconic images. It's just about you creating iconic images. I could do it in 10 minutes, 20 minutes, or 30 minutes. I can name that tune in 4 notes.
Did you do a mood board for this, John?
No, he just came over and we
Okay.
shot.
And you kind of knew you wanted a tight shot.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I forgot about my little magazine. There's so many. Do you guys know this girl, Samara Weaving?
No.
So this one, I don't even know if I like these. Maybe I don't. No, she's not a good example. I hate those. I'll have to take those down. How did she get up there? I'm joking.
They're
But
so
that was
good. What are you talking about?
no.
Oh
I
my
actually
God,
like
and
that.
Milo. Ooh,
Milo is
Oh,
everything.
mm,
Yeah,
really
he
is.
really, really is.
hello.
Oh, this one. Okay, this one is such a good shoot. Okay, to me, it's just everything. Hopefully, it will show up.
Has there ever been a bad photo taken of Matt Bomer?
He's so good looking to the
He's
point where it's
so
like
good
sickening. But he's a really nice. Oh no, wait.
I think
That's
it broke my
the-
wife's heart when she found out he was gay.
Yeah. And he's-
Gay?
Yeah.
Yes. Louder.
These are the reasons I'm single.
He's been married for a long
In
time
West
to
Hollywood.
his partner.
Yeah. So let me just show you. Look at the production value with this image. Look at this is natural light outside catching that right moment when the sun is just setting. With this iconic sky, with this great background, you pulled back enough to show the iconic sky. You just everything about it. It's just a classic, beautiful, iconic picture that will be in style now, 6 months, 4 years, 10 years,
And do you
100
have a
years.
bounce fill board?
No,
bounce
we didn't.
fill
We didn't
delay?
bounce on this one. And you know what's funny? Once again, this was the last shot. The last shot of the
Crazy.
day. When we
The
were
dynamic range there is pretty crazy to be able to see the sky and his face like that. It's pretty
and
amazing.
same thing. We did not retouch him. He looks this good. You know how upsetting. But we didn't retouch him. Like he's just a good looking human being. Look at the backlighting. Look at that. Like everything about this. This was me saying, hey Matt, let's go to Malibu Park, 2 hours. Let's just play.
No lights or anything, no bounce, anything.
No
That's-
bounds, no lights. It's up to us as creative geniuses, as incredible photographers that all of you are, to be able to go out into an environment and not have 50 lights, 30 assistants, this drama, that drama. No, it's you and a good looking person and make that shit happen. You
He
know that
love
you
these
can.
shots.
Look at this. Pull back, show the environment, backlight, front light, do something a little smoother like that. Have them look off and laugh, have them look down. You know, there's so many incredible things to create when you're outside and you have this cool environment. But remember, don't shoot this stuff at 12 noon. Don't do that to yourself. Start shooting at 3 and shoot until it gets dark. That's where you're gonna get your best light, because you don't want to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I don't. So once again, that backlighting is epic, epic. And I hope all of this helps you guys realize that you just need a creative eye. You don't need tons and tons and tons of lighting and gear, and even this guy, I don't love this shoot, but I love this image, the first image of this shoot. I did this in like an hour, like at my house, like down the street from my house. I mean, I don't dislike the pictures. I mean, he's a really good looking guy and they're cool shots and I love the tones, but he just basically came out and we hung out and shot great pictures.
Did you use a stylist for this or he just?
Yeah, we used a stylist for this and everything, but this to me is my favorite shot of the whole day. I think I love the trees. I love the black and white. I love this hot, hard light on him. So if I had to sum up like what shot was my favorite shot, this one. I think these two. I like these three as a set. But once again, it's outside, shooting, making something happen, creating images. Not
black and white. Are you bouncing on his right side or right side?
Yes. So on this black and white, I had a black fill card on the left-hand side. And I don't love that black and white. He loved it. That's why I put it up. It would not have been my choice. I think it's too harsh, but it's fine.
The other one also, right? The other black and white, you're bouncing a little bit?
Oh, let me go back and show you. Jumped ahead of myself. So the other black and white, no. The other black and white, there was no bounce. There was nothing, which is, so this one was just a beam of light that happened to be just coming through and he looked off. And this one here, we didn't have the black fill card as close, so that's why you're not getting such a harsh ratio. I actually like this image better than the other black and white. I think this one's softer.
Do you do the location scouting or you just
Well,
walk around?
this I walked down my backyard and shot it. So I that was a hard scout for me. But
Just
I
like-
do everything. It's just what I do. I go and I do everything. And I think, oh, this is a good one for lighting too. I forget about all these shoots. There's just so many. They like bleed into each other. I love this girl. This is a great girl. Do you guys know her?
Cat.
She's beautiful and nice and sweet and friendly. Okay, all natural light. Look at that lighting. Is that insane on her?
Yeah.
I mean, and she arrived retouched. I mean, she's like 12 years old. She's a beautiful girl.
What's the
That's
car?
natural lighting?
What is it?
Is that,
Sorry, go ahead.
is that natural lighting?
These are all natural lighting. So this one, believe it or not, we were in an overhang garage and I backlit her and behind her was a parking lot, totally blew out. So some people were like, oh, you shot that in a studio. I'm like, no, I didn't at all. But did I have a big white fill car in the back seat in the to bounce light back on her? 100%. And look at this. This was shot looking through glass. Natural light. Natural light. So when people say, oh God, I can't do that shoot today because I don't have enough money to buy lighting, I'm like, that would be called an excuse. A big one. You can go out and find creative things, shoot through glass, sit in old cars. Do it. Just do it. Okay, even this one, we put like a backdrop up behind her, natural light. She was in a doorway, okay? And the lighting is spot on, beautiful. I love the black and white one. It's super sexy. I love the hair. I love everything about it. But to me, my favorite is this one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think she's gorgeous. Her eyes, the lighting on her, the car, everything about it. I love shooting cars. Like I'm a freak for cars. I just like them and I'll continue shooting them until
What
someone
time of
else.
day was that?
What type of day was it?
No, what time of the day? Was it?
I love starting. I start shooting at 3 and I always shoot to 6. Like that's my moment. No, not this person.
I mean,
Uh,
it helps having good looking people to photograph. Let's
it
just.
helps
I'm-
having good looking people to photograph. Okay, here's my car fetish again, shining through.
I love the shot of you in the car too, John.
Oh, I was baiting for you to say that.
You were totally styling in those.
Thank you. So, okay, here's another story that I just posted. So once again, I'm using so many different lighting techniques to do this. In the car, it's a hard light, straight up, hard light in the car. He's in a different part of the car. The light gets a little softer. It's not as harsh, where he's got this cowboy hat on and the toothpick in his mouth. Love that. Then it's sunset. He's outside. He's sitting on the car. Then this one, more backlit, and we even intensified it and made it like super warm as a look. And then the cool sky right there behind him with, I love the beam of light. See the beam coming through from the sun?
Yep.
Love that. Same thing at the beach. Everything ties in with the car, the beach, the sand, the vibe. Very, very cool. But once again, in that car is my favorite. I love the shots where we're in the car. Look at the natural edge light he's getting on his left cheek.
Yeah. Although you
You
do
guys
really
can
good
see it.
profiles, like that profile, I feel like you always do a great profile shot. Back,
Well,
left,
I think
go the other
when
way.
you guys, here, I'll show you, it'll show up.
There.
I think anytime you're shooting someone, you guys should say to them, hey, I'm gonna go into this knowing that I'm gonna do a 3/4, a full length, and a profile, and a close-up. Always go into a shoot saying I'm gonna do a profile, a 3/4, a close-up, and a full length.
Mhm.
You're just giving yourself more variety. And I can guarantee he loved this picture, this profile. A lot of people have great Roman noses and beautiful profiles.
That's
Capture their profile. It's so important for you to do that. And there's another one that I think, okay, here's an interesting lighting thing. Taz, are you still on or is it over?
I'm here. I'm here.
Taz, remember we shot Jane Fonda. What was the name of that light that we used to create those beams?
Oh, it was a
Dobo or something?
it was a multi-spot, also called gobo. It's like you have a light with a lens in front of it, and you can put little discs, and those discs have like little patterns cut out. So once you put it in, and you can focus it, and it creates beautiful shadow patterns on people.
Mm.
It's expensive though, and wasn't it like $700 to rent it?
Yeah, it's like $4,000 to buy the pro photo version of it,
Wow.
but other companies make it for cheaper.
So let's talk about goals. She's 80,
Yeah, she's
just so we're all clear on that.
she's off the charts. She's taking good care of herself.
But see how those beams of light add to the image and they don't take away from the image. They add to the overall image.
Wow.
Yeah, love her. Love what we did with her. And how about Geo gets all these people? Do you love that?
Yeah, how do we talk about an editorial for Geo?
Oh God, the person was fired. No, I'm joking. So look, okay, here's a great one for you guys. And this is a great thing for you to pitch out there to your local sporting teams. Be like, hey, I want to shoot all of your team and I want to shoot them all the same way with the same lighting in the same environment like I did. All the top tennis players in the world.
Hmm.
Profile, straight on.
If they all look like that, I'm on it.
So
Exactly.
those look like they were shot with a strobe.
No, Taz, tell them.
What was
Which
that?
one?
Taz, this is when we brought the big Kino, the light bar, the strip.
Oh, the Kino.
See the
Yeah, it
long
was
bar?
Kino above their head, kind of behind the camera. But you can use a strips softbox with a strobe and two black V flats on each sides, you know, and then do some dodging and burning and retouching.
But aren't they cool? Coming up with the concept,
Yeah.
pitching this. So in your town, if you go to the local college team, all these colleges have marketing budgets to promote their athletes. Just so you know, all of these athletic divisions like the NBA, whatever the hell they're all called, they all have marketing budgets. You need to create a concept, go to them and say, I only need 3 to 5 minutes with each guy. I'll bring the clothing like I did. This is the concept that I want to do. Pitch it, sell it to them. They'll hire you. You'll make bank.
Just a heads up, the NFL is cheap.
Okay.
Mhm. John.
But even if you make $10,000 or $5,000, you get to shoot all these people in the NFL. You get them in your book. It's kind of cool. And they all love me. I watch them all play tennis. I get to sit in their box. It's a good thing. So that's creating a concept. And that's why I was telling you guys, start your own magazine. You can do it. I did it. I mean, it's super fun. I get to travel for free and go places and shoot all these great things. Just have fun with it and do fun stuff and just start it. Let me find another one that's really, I do love that one, but we're gonna skip that one. Okay, this is a good one for you guys. This is a great one. And I actually have BTS from this. I'll have to show you. Went into an old garage, reached out to them and said, we want to do a photo shoot. This is a working garage. Men are working there. We went in there with the fog machine, the lights, and the actors. And look at the shit that we came up with in there. Once again, we got his t-shirt, we got it all dirty, we threw some grease on him, hooked it up. I think my favorite shots of it would be this guy in the middle. I think he's awesome, but I think they're all really good. Some people didn't want to get dirty. I was all about the dirty, but they weren't. But finding a great environment, this is a really good looking guy. Finding that great environment and doing a shoot where you have these incredible props around you, going to an old garage where they fix vintage Jaguars and vintage Porsches. And this is called Checkered Flag, and it's on Venice in Hollywood, not in Hollywood, in Venice Beach. They will let you shoot there. I mean, honestly, I don't even think we paid to shoot there. I think we just gave them credit in the magazine. And we did so many cool shoots. I mean, the prop level is off the charts. To have that Porsche above you and him in the Porsche, I mean, that would cost normal people a fortune to rent a place like this. I mean, the production value, as I said, is completely off the charts. What do you guys think of this shoot?
One of our
Great.
favorite.
Yeah.
That other one with the brown jacket, how many lights do you have there? Do you have one light or?
This one?
No, the one further back with the, yeah, this one right here. That one in the middle.
So this one, Taz, I'm thinking, if I remember correctly, to your left of the subject, there was a large, I want to say, umbrella. I don't know. Maybe it was a softbox. Maybe it was a medium softbox up to the left. Do you remember?
He's gone.
It was a good run. So this one,
You did have behind the scenes of this one.
I have BTS of this one because I had it on my Instagram. So next week we're going to make some more diagrams and I'm going to choose that one because this one's kind of like, we had a lot of lights going on in this one. It's actually a really good one for lighting.
Next week, our last class.
I think so. Do we have a party?
Yeah.
We're going to make brownies.
Debbie's coming.
Debbie's coming. Debbie's coming in full drag.
Jayla's
I'm
gonna
so
sing.
excited.
Makes me sad.
I know, it makes me sad too. Oh my God, this one. Let me show you this one. This is such a great one. This is a shoot that I did at the Baccarat Hotel in New York.
Wow.
That
And this
hotel's
was-
amazing.
yeah, top model. How off the chain is this shot? Let me just show you. Let me go back because I want to show you
I like
that
that.
image. What do you got? Look at this image. Look at this lighting. Is that just beautiful?
Yeah.
Did you use any lighting there?
No. Do you know what I
Just
did
Is it-
here?
Is it a mirrored table? So
It's a
up
mirrored
to-
table and I
Yeah.
did a super long exposure because to be
Mm.
honest, we tried to light it and it looked like shit. And I was like, you know what? Give me that tripod. And I told him, I'm like, you are frozen solid. Don't move. And we probably did it. We did like, what is it when you drag the shutter? And everything about it. Look, you can see Taz in the far left seated. I love that. See him?
Mhm.
His
Oh,
little head. He made it. But everything about this, and this was,
Nope,
look
you
at
got
that. I mean, of course, the guy is like
Oh.
perfection.
it. Yeah.
This was shooting through Baccarat crystal.
Beautiful.
It's all about the shoot through. Try it, guys. Do it. Get some glasses, shoot through them, get a window pane, get anything, shoot through it. Create another layer to your images.
Those rainbow photos I sent you, that's the first time I was shooting through prism and glass, and that was a lot of fun.
Oh, they were amazing. Absolutely amazing, those pictures. I mean, look at this one.
Yeah.
Look at the
What is
light
it?
pattern.
What is the name of this guy again?
This guy is Sean O'Pry. He's the top
Sean
male
O'Pry.
model in the world.
Yes.
I mean, and the cool thing is, I called him up. I'm like, Sean, and I know I've known him. I've shot him for a couple campaigns, and I'm like, I have this new magazine, Geo. Do you want to be on the cover? He's like, 100% if you're doing it. Doesn't that? I didn't have to go through any agent, nothing, right to the top, because this is what I'm giving them. I wanted this to be the cover where he's kind of leaned, but he didn't like that one. He thought that it wasn't masculine enough. I'm like, whatever. But I mean,
Love that.
seriously, breathtaking guy, like perfection, highest level in life.
Looks like a young Clint Eastwood.
He does. And it makes you, when you do these shoots, it entices you to do more and find great models and find more models and keep pushing yourselves to come up with better and more interesting stuff and more, oh my God, this one wins every award.
So now, if you shoot these for Geo, do you then license them to other places? Like that's a great way for you to
100%.
manifest something for your own magazine that's going to be able to be, licensed.
Absolutely. So I'm going to start shooting for Geo again because then the images will get relicensed all over the world. So yeah, it might cost me a little bit of money up front, but I'm going to make it on the back end. So this one, I pitched this to David to shoot. Mind you, David is probably the other top male model in the world. And we did this because David said, oh, I'm represented by Jaguar. Why don't you reach out to Jaguar and see if they have money? Jaguar paid us $20,000 to
Wow.
shoot him with a vintage and a new Jaguar in the dry lake bed in the desert. This is natural light, guys. Look at this. This
So
is,
beautiful.
I mean,
Yeah.
look at the colors.
Look at his
Look-
jacket.
Look at his jacket. That jacket is actually Gucci. I remember that. Look at the vintage car. Okay, look at this.
Oh,
That photo. Wow.
love that.
Does
photo.
that not win every award? I
Oh.
mean, that's what honestly makes me proud to be a photographer. When you shoot an image like this, I had this up on my wall because I was so proud of it because I knew of everything that went into it. I love the depth of field. I love his, God, I love everything about this guy. He just is the quintessential, like, good looking man, and I love it because he's not perfect. He's got this big nose. It's a little crooked, but there's something about him that is super sexy. And I think he should be the next James Bond. I mean,
Totally.
he is just the guy.
Yeah.
And he loves to shoot pictures. I was just texting with him and he's just like, John, I can't wait to shoot with you again.
And they let
Because-
him like lean on a car like that, huh?
Oh yeah. I mean, mind you, they drove us, they had 6 vintage Jaguars on a truck and I got to pick which one I wanted to shoot.
Oh my gosh.
So this is a very expensive car, like
Yeah.
crazy expensive car. And this, we got a permit and we were out at the Andrews Air Force Base. And this is the dry lake bed. It's all cracked mud.
So cool though. Oh my God, he's so, yeah.
And once again, this is one of my most favorite shoots. Absolutely love it. And it was for Geo. I mean, I have to say, like, my little magazine gets bigger people than GQ, which I love, but it's all because of relationships.
Yeah.
But here's what I think, if there's any other, I'm trying to find like a lighting thing that's a little more, oh my God, I want to live in that house. That's a little more, oh, you know what? This is a cool one that we did. You guys know who this guy is? G-Eazy? Linda, you would know. No, I'm joking. Linda,
Linda Cyber.
do you guys know who
I'm
G-Eazy
too old
is?
for these guys.
Okay.
Yes.
Look how cool. Watch this. Oh no, let me take it back a little bit. So this, I shot through a glass. Let me get to the one that I really like. I shot through a crystal glass, one of the glasses that he's holding, put it on the left-hand side, and it created this interesting blur.
Mm-hmm.
I love this blur.
That shiny shirt is so perfect for that shot.
And once again, the blur. I kept
Yeah.
the blur throughout most of it. So we were doing this for, he has some alcohol brand, which is probably out of business by now, but we were doing it like for that. But look how cool with the blur and the face thing. And then I thought this last shot that we did was really cool. You know, the black and white looking backwards.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't tell, but he's got the bottle of his alcohol in the back pocket. And then like these red ones were a little boring, but, and I hated that checkerboard shirt, but he was insistent upon wearing it. But that's his alcohol in the background.
John, we have one question. When you're
Yeah.
doing projects like that for yourself, how do you do the licensing for the talent or the models?
So basically they're going to be in the magazine. So they get to be in the magazine. And then 90% of the time I interview them. So not only do I own the rights to the photos, I own the rights to the words, the interview. And because there's so many shitty magazines out there and they're all closing, publicists want new outlets. They want new magazines because people need material to post. 100%. So if you designed a cool magazine and you can call it anything you want to call it, Barlow, Groove, Still, Finger, any magazine that you want to call, any name that you want to give it, and then make it, that's just your magazine. Create a website. And I upload all this stuff myself. It's really not that difficult. I have like 3 shoots. Oh, this used to be my old studio in LA. Peyton's been there.
Peyton, John's ready to hook up with you for tomorrow.
No, he can't. It's too
Oh.
far. I didn't realize how far it was. Oh, look, there's my photos. See, this was
Nice.
my photography studio.
Nice. That was your photo studio?
Yeah, this is where I did the photo shoots. There was
Oh,
4 levels, so there was a lot of space there. This was my office. I had a patio outside. I still own this building.
Dude, that patio smelled so good. All that rosemary. I love that.
Thanks. Yeah, it's a really great space.
Beautiful.
So I think if there's any lighting ones that you want me to talk about, you should email me and be like, hey, John, I would love to talk about this lighting setup. I just think that's important so we can, you know, address anything that you guys want to address. I want to make sure there's so many things that we've done on here that are really cool.
Go back to that motorcycle one up above.
Yeah, I didn't love that one, but it's fine.
But to light, you know, I mean, it was probably daylight, but
This was all daylight outside. I mean, I don't dislike this one. We did a job. Oh, so here's a great idea. I called Harley Davidson and said, would you like to do a photo shoot with these five hot actors? They all have millions of followers. We would have to charge you a sponsorship fee and it would be $10,000, but all the actors will repost Harley Davidson. They came back, they're like, absolutely. Instantly, you made $10,000. You can do this, Natalie. You know you can. Come on now, girl.
You pay the actors.
Oh, I just reached out to them and said, hey guys, I'm doing a shoot. It's going to be with Matchless Leather Jackets, and Matchless Leather Jackets paid $8,000. So they paid me to throw them in the jackets and put them on the motorcycles. So that's me being creative and making opportunities for myself.
Wow.
Not just pushing that button. There's a lot of shit that goes to it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be creative business people. You know this.
Yeah, coming up with your own perfume.
Coming up with your own perfume, coming up with your own ideas.
Yeah.
Why not? What else are we doing?
Yeah.
That's how I
My buddy
look.
with airplanes.
I am always looking to find. What is it?
I said it was really awesome. I got to call my buddy with the airplane hanger.
Oh, that's so cool. Okay. How about this one? I know you've seen this one. I always wanted to shoot with a real tiger, so I got a real tiger. And I got one of the top models. Oh, what's this? Can you hear the music?
Yeah.
Well, that was weird. Oh.
Gorgeous.
What do you think of that image?
Oh my gosh.
Are those tigers loose or like they were?
Is it composite? I always wondered that.
Yeah, yeah.
The tiger was a stuffed animal.
Oh,
Who's Taz dressed up?
That was not a stuffed animal.
Taz in a
Yeah,
costume.
people believe you. You have to stop that. You're so funny.
Look at this lighting on this one.
Love it.
How do I get this music to stop? Oh my God.
Chicken safari.
Oh Christ, that music was killing me. But the same thing, that tiger, so a couple of them, the tiger was there, but a couple of them, the tiger like wasn't really posing enough. And we did stills of the tiger and stripped it in like 3 of them. So how about next week is last week, but I think that you guys should think of anything that we didn't cover enough of, and you should say, hey, John, I want you to talk about this, this, and that. And then next week, that whole next week will be a review of this, this, and that. So if you want to send me an email and say, can you highlight on this? I need to know this. Or can you highlight on that? I need to know that. Then I can make a whole plan and we'll address everyone's needs. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
Perfect.
Doesn't that sound good? So I'm going to probably do in, I want to say August, I'm probably going to do an in-person workshop because I feel like the in-person workshops are so cool. I'll make sure that any of you that want to take it, there'll be like a huge discount for people that want to take it again, take one of my courses again. And I'm either going to do it in Santa Barbara or Montana. I was set up to do it on the island of Capri in Italy, but Italy is just closing up again. So I'm afraid, I think that's the next year. But my goal is, I love the idea of Montana because there's the most
Good,
magnificent,
Linda.
right? The
How many
most,
days is it going to be?
it's just going to be for 2 days. So
Like a
everybody,
weekend or a
it would be
weekday?
like a weekend. So
Oh.
everybody would come in for like, they would come in on like a Friday and then we'd shoot all day Saturday, we'd shoot all day Sunday. And
Oh, that's
then,
awesome.
then we'd like have a dinner on Sunday night, and then everybody leaves on Monday. So I'm thinking, I don't know why I think Montana would be a really good place because in the summer it's right next to Glacier National Park and it's unbelievable. And you can fly into Whitefish. And I have like that area where I shot that girl. There's all these different animals. I would rent that space for the day. And around there's like 30 locations to shoot. Like really, there's like this incredible river. So I think it's probably going to be Montana, and I'll probably announce it like in the next, I don't know, 2-3 weeks, to see if anybody's interested. But I think it'll be fun to do something in a place like that. I want to do them all over the world, and I want to do one in Mykonos. I want to do one in
Yes.
Capri.
Oh my God, yes.
I want to do them and getting great
Take my
models.
money.
Yeah, and getting great models to go to Mykonos, I think is key, because then you get these beautiful models in these incredible locations. So when people see it in your book, they're like, is that Mykonos? And you're like, yeah, we did a fashion shoot there. And
Yeah.
people are like, oh, they know that costs money. So
Nice.
yeah. So I put on the Instagram. Oh, Taz texted me, said, could you please say goodbye to everyone for me? They are all so nice. I don't want to be rude and just disappear.
Aw, what a sweet
I'm mad at him for leaving.
Yeah.
Isn't he the best ever?
9 years. That's awesome.
He's great. He's in where is he? He's in the next room. But he left because he has friends here. Let me tell you, what was I going to show you? Instagram. Okay. So what I was saying on Instagram was, wasn't I saying something on Instagram that if you guys wanted to do something, it would be fun? Oh, if you wanted to do anything with the People magazine stuff. If you do want to do that, I think it's a golden opportunity for you guys to have something. And even if you don't do it now, just do it.
Yeah.
Like, in order to have that woman's ear, that doesn't happen to anyone.
Yeah.
Like, no one. You know, and mention me, be like, thank you so much for speaking in John's class, you know, butter her up. And, you know, I just want to leave you with some of my work because I'd really love to work with you. I'm located in, you know, Nova Scotia, and I'm ready to shoot. I think if you put that out there, she could immediately be like, oh my God, like Pamela Anderson is filming in Nova Scotia and we need a photographer. And you just got yourself a job. You just don't know.
So we'll do a shoot through thing for this one. I know I have to
Well,
catch up for the people.
which
too.
might be fun is I would love for you guys to try some of these shoot throughs. And listen, even if it's just like, you know, your sister, your neighbor, like anybody that, even if you want to do a self-portrait of yourself with a shoot through, I'll tell you the good things to shoot through. Glassware. Glassware that's faceted and cut like crystal. Get a tall one, a tall glass, so it goes the whole length. Not only do you, and you want to have it off to the side, and this is more like, I don't want to call that one a shoot through. I would call that one a foreground element. I think a shoot through is getting pieces of wheat and shaking them while you shoot through so it blurs. I think it's getting pieces of grass, but not like one strand. You need to see it.
Yeah,
I think finding an old window pane and showing the pane in the image, unbelievable. Love that. And if the glass is kind of like dirty and old and muffled, shoot through the glass. You will get the most incredible, gritty effect. I think this stuff will help you guys, and it'll show your clients that you're not just one-dimensional, that you can come up with interesting layers and creative things for your work. And how you sell it to your clients, you say, hey guys, I have a creative idea that's amazing. We're going to shoot through to create this, you know, blurred image and distortion of the image. You have to sell them on it because you're the artist. If they're like, why is the corner blurred? Well, because I wanted it to be blurred. It's a creative choice. I'm the artist. Very important to do that. I love flare. I love shoot through. I love atmosphere machines. I love
What
smoke.
about bubbles?
Bubbles? No.
No.
I mean, you could, but I don't know. Bubbles.
My daughter has a bubble machine.
Bubbles could lean toward hokey because they're bubbles, but why not try it? I do think that your atmosphere machine, the way to go. Your smoke machine, the way to go. The window pane, the way to go. Shooting through the window, shooting through a car window with a reflection of trees, incredible. So if you guys want to do that for next week, have fun and do it. I would love to look at it and and see them. And if you don't, then just think of some fun things we can talk about for next week.
Oh my gosh, Peyton, he is so cute.
Happy birthday, Peyton.
And everybody wish Peyton a happy birthday.
And Nico.
And
Nico.
Nico,
Thank you all
happy
very much.
birthday. And that cute
Thank you.
little
Happy birthday,
boy.
Peyton.
Oh my God. That's amazing. Well, bye everyone. Have a great week. Hope you had fun. I'll let you know how my Airbnb photo shoot goes tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm dying to see.
Bye.
Maybe I'll
Bye.
get y'all a discount for Airbnb.
Yeah.
For
All right,
Montana.
guys. Hope you
Thank
had
you.
fun. Have a great night. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.